Merry meet and welcome to the daily reading for all signs for today, the 17th of November 2024. This is Ariel Gatoga, and today I'm reading with the Golden Tarot of the Renaissance. Let's purify with this 4711 cologne. It's a nice old standby. 3 sprays in this big room is more than sufficient. We are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube are the lovely Shirley and the lovely Honeypaw. Moderating on Twitch is the lovely Deline. Thank you so much, moderators. And thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. We've got a little shuffling to do, so we'll be right to the reading in just a moment or two. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And if you're on Twitch, please make sure you follow us on Twitch. You can watch on Twitch without any ads when you subscribe to us there. If you'd like to donate to our channel, you can do that by going to paypal.me/ArielGatoga. paypal.me/ArielGatoga. If you're on YouTube, you could use a super sticker or super chat if you feel like giving a donation right on the platform. This reading goes out to a lot of people, so if for some reason it doesn't seem like it applies to you, just disregard it because it's probably not meant for you. In that case, check out the zodiacal readings for your sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. You can find the most recent restreams of those readings on our website, arielscorner.com. arielscorner.com. Just click on the free online tarot readings link in that main menu. I don't read with card reversals, so that's why I flip cards right side up if they come out upside down. It's not the most common way of reading tarot these days, but it is a legitimate way, and it's just my preferred method. So all is well. I've got a few more shuffles to do, then I'll give this deck a nice clean cut. Do one more here. Let's see what is in the cards for everybody today. Starting out with the Star card, followed by the King of Swords, and then we've got the beautiful High Priestess card. Okay, so, you know, you don't want to put your grace in the back seat. You don't want the grace to be something that you had once. We want that to be in the present moment, especially when we are allowing ourselves to be controlled by the parts of the ego which tend to be the most destructive. Now, it's going to show up for many people in different ways, this King of Swords, but it is the bully of the deck, and it doesn't care about anything other than destruction. It doesn't care about anything other than you not having what you want, you not having your well-being, you having painful experiences. I call him the King of Pain. So the way that manifests is different than the Queen of Swords, who's very sly, sort of cunning, behind the scenes. It's hard to catch sometimes what she's up to. He doesn't really seem to hide. He actually takes pride in his doings. Now, what you can do is notice, what are you doing? What are your attitudes? Now, it doesn't matter really if this is the way that you're acting towards another person, the way you're acting toward yourself, or the way you're, yelling at the TV screen. It really doesn't matter, because what's happening is you are allowing that King of Swords to sacrifice your peace of mind. And anything that's disturbing to your peace of mind is not good enough for you. It's not good enough for you. And the King of Swords wants you to believe, no, you really want this. You really want to feel these feelings of anger or whatever they are. Whatever those feelings that you're experiencing that are destroying your peace of mind, your ego really wants to try to convince you that those feelings are much better than peace. And it's not true. And you need to just do your best to, when you notice anything happening like that that's destroying your peace of mind, just to stop and question it. Definitely don't need to fight against the King of Swords, because you're just fighting against your own mind, a part of your own mind that's running amok. What you do instead is just notice it for what it is, and then you can make a new choice. But it's hard to make a choice if you're not aware of what's going on, because you don't know that there's something to choose. But once you notice that the King of Swords is running amok in your mind, you can just say, is that what I really want? Or do I want peace? Because I could have peace instead if I want it. Do I want to have my prosperity? Do I want to have my joy? Do I want to have the good in my life? Or do I want this instead? And if I really am honest with myself, of course I don't want this instead. What is it ever going to give me other than a moment, a blip of maybe feeling right? But it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Now, the High Priestess card is promising that a lot of the grace that has been in your past is being held for you, even while you're going through this. And it's going to show up in unexpected ways, but it's very challenging and difficult if you're not willing to relinquish this King of Swords. It's as if this grace doesn't exist, at least not in the moment, because one vision costs you the other vision. You can either have the vision of grace or you can have the vision of the King of Swords. You can't do both at the same time. And so it's almost like a way of thinking about that is that the High Priestess is holding all of that grace in trust for you until you can receive it again. And you can do that in an instant. You can do that in an instant. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Strength card, and we've got the Death card. Oh, good. Okay, good. Now, the Strength card, it's talking about why this King of Swords wants to be activated. The King of Swords is the part of the ego, like I said, that's just kind of a bully. But why would the ego want to sick the bully on you at this point? Because it's saying you're poised to discover things about yourself. You're poised to claim more of your own power. The more power you claim, the less power the ego has, the more the ego dissolves. And the ego has its own sort of weird survival instinct. And so if it gets wind of the idea that you're doing something that could threaten it, it's going to do whatever it can do to survive. And so that's why it's, according to this reading anyway, one of the reasons why this King of Swords seems to be coming out of nowhere for many people. It's because the ego knows you're on the right track and doesn't want you to be on the right track. Look at how you've been handling things recently. Some of you were sort of like suffering from victimhood and feeling like, nothing was working out for you, and you called upon, in whatever form you did it, you called upon divine grace, and you were able to have that turn around for you, and you were able to see things differently, and you were able to start to look within you to see what your part in it was so that you could release yourself from it and change things. That's powerful. The ego is like, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's do something else. Don't you hate her? Don't you hate him? Isn't that making you mad? Aren't you upset about it? Remember when, it just distracts you from all of that spiritual progress, because it diminishes the ego and it doesn't want to be diminished, right? So this is a blip in time. This isn't going to last because you've already set the stage too much for your own awakening, but just be aware of it for what it is. And when the ego does do that, when the ego does flare up, it is because you're on the right track and it's trying to distract you. So it's actually a good sign, but it's still something that you want to be aware of, because it's not something you want to lose a bunch of your time in. You don't want to waste a bunch of time hanging out with the King of Swords, because it's a road to nowhere. It's literally a time waster, and it's an energy waster. It's an energy drain. Now, the Death card is poised and ready. As soon as you are willing to let go of your need to be right about whatever this situation is, as soon as you're willing to move on from this, the Death card is poised and ready to annihilate whatever the circumstances are that the ego is trying to use to prove a point to you. So some of you, I mean, it's everybody's so different. Some circumstances out there where the ego is saying, see, and as long as you're digging your heels in and saying, yeah, then the death card has to wait. But as soon as you're willing to let go and not spend your time in that King of Swords posture of being right and everybody else is being wrong, or whatever that happens to be manifesting as, then that death card is ready to clear the field from whatever those circumstances were. And just like I said, the High Priestess is holding your grace in trust for you while you're dallying with the ego. As soon as you're willing to let go of this, then it comes back into effect. And one of the ways that it comes into effect is that those circumstances are removed. The very circumstances that the ego is trying to complain about are removed. But it won't let you in on the fact that the more you are leaning into the ego, the more you're keeping those circumstances alive. The very thing that it's trying to bitch and moan and complain about and you be right about can't be removed until you're willing to let go of the ego. And instead, working with this strength card where you are looking within, and seeing where things are anchored in you, what your part in any situation is. The ego doesn't want you to think you have a part in any situation, because then you have power, because you can change, right? The ego wants it all to be them. They're the problem. Or if that's not working, it will come in and start to make you wrong, but in such a way to distract yourself from ever fixing the issue. Always just, being down on yourself. So either way is not going to do anything but waste your time. Whether you're down on other people or whether you're down on yourself, you're missing out on the opportunity to learn more about yourself and to make friends with those deep parts of yourself that may be at odds. So that's what this strength card is all about, and what this ego is trying to have you avoid. The strength card is all about noticing that sometimes the reason why things don't work out for us is because there's parts of our own personality that have been misprogrammed since probably childhood, and they've never been taught a new way to be. And so the strength card is saying, let's take some time to really sit with ourselves and to look at ourselves and to look at those areas in our lives where we have those patterns, and just, forgive ourselves for having the pattern, and then also tell that pattern that you can, you don't need to be like this. We can get our needs met in a brand new way. You don't need to be this way. We can give you a new way of being. And it's a wonderful, beautiful way of healing and changing things. But the ego doesn't like that. The ego says, no, don't do that. Just blame them. Don't do that. Blame yourself. Blame somebody. Just blame. Because if you're blaming, then you're not healing. If you're blaming, you're not healing. And it does not want you to heal, because, like I said, that costs it its existence when you heal. So it's a really powerful day for everybody. There's a lot of trump cards here. We've got the High Priestess, the Death card, the Strength card, the Star, and the Hanged Man. So if you remember those cards, Hanged Man, Star, Strength, Death, High Priestess, also called the Popess, what you can do is look on my website. You follow the link in the video description of this very video on YouTube, and take a look at some of the meditations for those cards, and maybe choose one or two that you might want to work with. I think the Strength card's going to be really good for many of you, because it's why the ego is so up in arms. It doesn't want you to heal. So if you're listening to that Strength card meditation, it's going to give you a way to lean into that healing even more. So, but you're doing great. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Shirley, Honeypot, and Deline. We're off on Mondays and Tuesdays, so we'll see you again on Wednesday for another daily reading. Until then, blessed be.